This is the first in a series of 10 modules all about social enterprise. Session 1 is an introduction to social enterprise. The aim of this module is to support the learner in identifying what constitutes a social enterprise and how they differ from other organisations, and to facilitate the exploration of the learner's immediate and wider work context in order to promote professional development. By the end of this session, the learner will be able to identify the key attributes of social enterprise, understand the diverse nature of businesses that operate as a social enterprise, and contemplate the first steps needed to set up a social enterprise. So what is a social enterprise? According to the Social Enterprise Coalition, social enterprises are businesses trading for social and environmental purposes. Social enterprises are distinctive because of their social and/or environmental purpose, and it's absolute central to what they do. Their profits are reinvested to sustain and further their mission for positive change. So essentially, social enterprises are commercial businesses designed to make profit. The difference occurs with the profit, which is reinvested to meet the aims of the business, particularly the social aims. There are many descriptions of social enterprises, and it's important to understand that a social enterprise is not a legal structure. According to Muhammad Yunus, founder of the Grameen Bank, a social enterprise, he says, we have described and keep on describing organisations motivated by social objectives as non-profit organisations. We need to have another description, non-loss organisations, because we don't want to lose money and our objective is to address a particular problem. So, we are non-loss businesses with social objectives. So the history of social enterprises. It's a misconception that social enterprise is a relatively new idea. Many long-established organisations qualify as social enterprises. In fact, the social enterprise movement first emerged in the 1840s. In Rochdale, a workers' cooperative was set up to provide high-quality, affordable food in response to factory conditions that were considered to be exploitative. In the UK, in the late 1990s, social enterprise started to reappear. Social enterprise has frequently been found in the financial sector, including mutuals and friendly societies. The cooperative movement can be considered to be a major player in the field of social enterprise, providing benefits to members for many years. What are the characteristics of a social enterprise? Social enterprises operate as commercially run businesses. They aim to make profits. They generate the bulk of their income through sales of goods or services. They use good business practices and principles. They use the majority of their profits to further social or environmental goals, and some may hold the social enterprise mark. Now, in February 2010, the social enterprise mark was launched as the brand for social enterprises. It requires a business to meet 6 defined criteria in order to qualify to receive the mark. Many commercial businesses would consider themselves to have social objectives. Whether these objectives are central to the organisation determines whether they are indeed a social enterprise or a business with social aims. Key differences of social enterprises. There are a number of significant differences between social enterprises and private enterprise, both in the way they are developed and the way in which they continue to develop. Social enterprises have an explicit social aim, frequently known as the triple bottom line. Social enterprises have a commercial focus, but will also have an explicit social and/or environmental purpose. Social enterprises often have a complex composition of sales income, commercial contracts, service level agreements, and grant support. Social enterprises are usually governed by a board of volunteers, which may mean that they are more risk-averse in terms of pursuing business ventures than ordinary private sector businesses. The start-up costs of a social enterprise may be much higher, because social enterprise usually has to operate on a scale that is large enough to sustain its social commitment from the very beginning. Social enterprises may have difficulty gaining access to traditional forms of investment, such as loan finance. The leaders of social enterprises are usually driven by the social potential of the venture, and will need to find support for the other areas of the enterprise. Social enterprises usually have a wide range of stakeholders involved in their development, which can mean that there is a wide influence on the development process, and sweat equity is invested to grow and build the social enterprise, but the purpose is not financial gain, but social. So who is a social enterprise? The social enterprise movement is very diverse. In the UK, social enterprises can include community enterprises, credit unions, trading arms of charities, employee-owned businesses, development trusts, social firms, KICs or community interest companies, and commercial businesses with a stated purpose. Some real examples of social enterprise include The Big Issue, The Eden Project, Cafe Direct, 15, Divine Chocolate, Cooperatives UK, Ethical Property plc, and Greenworks. As an activity, identify 2 local, 2 national and 2 international social enterprises and identify their social purpose. The importance of social enterprise. Current government policy is to encourage the development of social enterprise with regards to the delivery of public services in areas such as health, transport and leisure. Voluntary and community organisations are being encouraged towards social enterprise where appropriate to reduce their dependency on grant funding. Social enterprises achieve social benefits through standard business practice and can help create strong and sustainable communities. Social enterprise is also becoming the employer of choice. There are increasing commercial opportunities for social enterprise where they may become the partners of choice in order for large organisations, both public and private sector, to demonstrate their social responsibility. Products and services offered by social enterprises may be aimed at markets quite aside from the areas in which they seek to offer social benefit. The products and services themselves may not contribute to achieving the stated social aims, but the profits generated will do so. Social enterprise has on many occasions been able to deliver results in areas of market failure for both public and private sector organisations. Developing a social enterprise. If you are in a position where you are looking to develop your organisation into a social enterprise or start a new enterprise, there are a number of questions that need to be answered. Do you know why you are doing this? Are you looking to sell a product or a service to a customer? Have you identified who that customer is? Do you know what the market rate is for the product or service? Have you considered how you will convince the customer to buy from you rather than from your competitors? And do you know what success will look like? Other modules in this series will look at a number of other themes that have a bearing on the development of a social enterprise. However, they are not designed to replace business startup advice that can be accessed from a number of other support organisations. The culture, aspiration, resources, size, capacity and previous experience of your organisation will influence how you develop your social enterprise.